And welcome back, everyone. It's time for our first of many palm readings here on the show. Tracy Wolfson is with Jerry Palm, who's all over CBSSports.com right now and is the owner, operator, writer, and editor and head cook at collegerpi.com. A man full of information and calculation. Take it away, guys.
Well, that's right, Adam. Our bracket guru, Jerry Palm, will try and give us a head start on what we should be looking for tonight in terms of who's in and who's out. Great to have you here, Jerry.
Great to be here. Thanks.
What a crazy week it has been. And let's start with the question everyone is asking. Who will be the 4 number ones?
Yeah, it seems like nobody really wanted to be, but it'll be no surprise when the top of this bracket is dominated by the 2 best conferences this year, the Big East and the ACC, starting right away with the Big East regular season and tournament champion, Louisville. They got off to a slow start this year, but really came on strong in conference play. After Louisville, you're going to have Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh spent some time at number 1 in the polls this year, much of the season at number 1 in the RPI because of the strength of their schedule. They should be a number 1 seed for sure. I think the overall number 1 seed is going to be North Carolina, the ACC champion. They struggled a little bit in the conference tournament without Ty Lawson. He's dinged up going into the NCAA tournament. If the committee thinks that he's ready to go, they should be the overall number 1. They're going to be a number 1 either way. The 4th one, there's a little bit more question. I think it's going to be Connecticut, who spent quite a bit of time at number 1 this year. Struggled a little bit down the stretch of this season without Jerome Dyson, but still a very excellent season. And then if there is somebody who knocks UConn off that line, it could be the Memphis Tigers, who had another great year, dominating Conference USA, but didn't have the kind of non-conference performance you normally associate with a number 1 seed from a non-major league.
So Memphis will drop, you say, to a number 2.
I think Memphis will be a 2, yes.
Well, despite the wild week, there are surprisingly very few spots left, especially with Mississippi State now grabbing one. So who's on the fence? Who gets left out?
Well, I think we're going to get to see St. Mary's in the tournament this year, the runner-up of the West Coast Conference. This is a team that gets in strictly on subjectivity. It's not all on paper. They lost their star player, Patty Mills, for a key stretch of their season. He missed essentially 2 Gonzaga games, was just back for the 3rd one. The committee's going to have to look at that team subjectively and put them in. I also think Maryland is going to get in the field. They finished very strong in the ACC, picked up a huge win in the ACC tournament over Wake Forest. And then the team who got their bubble burst today, I think, is going to be the Missouri Valley co-regular season champion, Creighton.
Well, speaking of bubbles bursting, who needs the miracle?
Well, I think you start in the Big Ten with Penn State. Penn State has the classic NIT profile. They basically took the first 2 months off. It is the worst non-conference schedule the committee has looked at. Then they went 11-9 in the league, counting the conference tournament. That's just barely better than 500. That is how you go to the NIT if that's what you want to do. You have a team like San Diego State out of the Mountain West. They just didn't do enough out of conference to make up for, it was a pretty good conference season, but they didn't do enough off their home floor, not enough out of conference. I think they're just going to miss, especially since St. Mary's beat them in the regular season. And then out of the SEC, Auburn, 10-6 in the league, but this league is the worst rated in the RPI major conference in the 16 years that I've been tracking it. No 10-6 SEC team has missed. I think Auburn is going to be the first.